Help my virgin friend. She complains often that she wishes she could find a husband to do life with. She still lives with her parents and basically never leaves her house except to go to work. I have paid for yearly subscriptions for her on Upward and Christian Mingle, but she doesn't use the apps much, so it ended up being a waste of money. Your issue isn't that your friend is a virgin. Your issue is that you're bored of hanging out with your virgin friend. Welcome to the new JTrain Podcast. Hello and welcome to the JTrain Podcast. It's JTrain, Jared Freid, coming to you live from Feather Nation Studio. Yeah, that's right. We're here every Monday with your emails, your stories, your questions. I say it every episode. I'll say it again. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of this show. This is a user-generated show. That means we need your emails. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Send in your luxury lounge issues, your questions, your concerns. We're also bringing on a lot more experts. If there's someone you want to hear from, if there's an expert that you're looking to just get some real talk with, where I'm not going to sit here and beat around the bushes. Last week we had a travel agent on, and I told them that people literally laugh in my face when I say I use a travel agent. So I'm going to talk to them in an honest, fun way that gets you some answers. Today we have a movie reviewer on. B Movies with the Baby is back. It's a totally Glen Powell specific episode for some reason. The baby told me he wanted to go over Twisters, and I said, okay, bring a date night movie and a movie you would watch by yourself. And he does that, all Glen Powell movies. So a lot of Glen Powell talk, a lot of talk about the proportions of his body for some reason. So we have a great discussion of movies. I want you to watch that, enjoy it, and do me a favor. Comment on YouTube, review us on Apple, and all that stuff. That's all very helpful. Touch the content, so to speak. We're going to do a bunch of advice emails today, and we're going to get into it. Also, you can join the Patreon, patreon.com/Jared Freid, $5 a month. Gets you the end of every episode that we post here. So these run about, an hour, and then it's an extra 15, 20 minutes of show?
Yeah, sometimes 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, it's a lot of fun, and it's cool to read these emails. I love
the emails are great. The Patreon. Also, I do Coffee with JTrain. You can hear about my travel issues and the week that was, so to speak. Let's get into the emails. When to be official and faithful. You're with your boyfriend 7 months. How long into dating did you become official?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about official.
Yeah.
If it's not of course, then it's not a relationship. That is official.
I love that.
And it should be of course. And listen, I've been on both sides of that. I've been the one that's not of course, and I've been the one that's of course we're dating.
Yeah.
And if in your mind you are questioning it, then you're not in a relationship. If you have no questions at all, if it's of course, you're in a relationship. I think this conversation gets so bogged down by people saying you should, and time in this amount of time is weird and this amount of time is not weird.
Yeah.
It's all specific to the relationship, but what you find is the common theme of every good relationship, or one that's going well as of this day, is that it was of course.
I love that. That's actually that's also sound advice to anybody that's dating right now or in a relationship.
Well, it's never going to go on TikTok. It'll never get views. It's just, I'm just saying that when someone's like, oh, are we in a relationship? It's like, do you really think do you really think we're not?
Yeah.
And I know we want validation from others. We want someone else to go, you're my gal, you're my guy. But you kind of have to just be, I don't know. It's like, this is the type of advice that I'm sitting here, a single guy. I've been the other side of that, where it's not of course for me, and I want it to be of course for me. And are we together? I'm still, I do have the app still, and I do I am not really out there saying we're together, but I wish I could, and I wish I was more excited about this, but I'm not. When someone's holding back, you feel it.
Yeah.
You're not confused. You're turned off. That is the answer to every dating question. You want the answer to every dating question? Every dating question you ever have. Take the word confused and switch in the word turned off. I'm confused by their texting. Switch, I am turned off by their texting. And then present it to the person that you're seeing. The problem with the words turned off is that people assume that means it's over. No, I can be turned on like a light switch. I can be turned off like a light switch. Think of yourself like that. Think of yourself as a dimmer. You're a dimmer switch. Your dimmer is totally turned off by this behavior. My dimmer is totally turned on by this behavior. My dimmer went nowhere from this behavior. That's okay. All of those answers are good, but the dimmer slides up and down. Now, sometimes you got to remove the dimmer from the wall and move it from that apartment to another apartment. That means it's over. So we go back to the email. When to be official and faithful. Wanted your opinion on this one. Been seeing a girl for about 1.5 months now. Okay. I've been single for 2 years now and have been in a bunch of dates, situationships, long talking stages, and the whole thing. But this one felt different and so easy the whole time. Again, of course means you're in a relationship. The issue is she brought up being exclusive about a month in, which is usually too early for me to want to do that, but agreed to because I really like how everything is going so far. That's the thing. We get so bogged down on usually. There's no usually. There's this relationship, this situation. In this situation, this person is double talking. They don't have to. You don't have to do that with me. And you know what they're afraid of? They're afraid of someone going, you've only been together a month and you want to be exclusive? What a loser. And it's like, no. Hey, I'm really enjoying my time with this person. We're exclusive now after a month of dating. They asked me what we were, and I said, of course we're dating. I'm not seeing anyone else. Of course. So I understand why they write these things the way they write it. It's not necessary for me.
Yeah.
If someone said, I met this guy, and after 2 dates, we just had such a great time that now we're like in a relationship, I'm not really seeing anyone else, I would go, great. That wouldn't even shake me a little. I could understand that. We met for, people get, and I'm not like looking, that is not me saying that should be everyone's case and scenario. That is me saying every scenario can happen.
Yes.
Not every scenario should happen because it happened before. It's you and so like she just got out of this guy continues to write. She just got out of a long-term relationship and messed up last Saturday and slept with another guy. She's distraught, said she was really drunk and made a terrible mistake and wants to do anything to gain my trust back. Part of me gets it because I have also went on one-night stands after a long-term breakup, and if we had not discussed exclusivity, I would not be upset at all. What do you think I should do? This is a tough one. So, to go back to the email, you're seeing someone 1.5 months. They bring up exclusivity about a month in. You say you're in because you like how everything's going. Okay. Then they go and sleep with another guy. Now, again, every situation is different. It is interesting that they're saying, well, maybe and they're saying if we didn't get exclusivity, then I wouldn't even know about this or need to be told about this. I would disagree. I would say to you that this person that you're dealing with, the minute they sleep around on you after asking for exclusivity is the minute this isn't about you at all. You are someone to make their insecurities feel less so. They needed to have the comfy cozy of a person who's waiting there with open arms and is in a relationship, signed on the dotted line. I've said this for years on this podcast. If you're in a relationship, I envy you on a Sunday morning, and I pity you on a Saturday night. Your Saturday night is boring to me. Right? Your Saturday night movie. What should we do? Should we go to bed early? Maybe we'll have dinner. Glass of wine? I don't know. I get hungover. Your Sunday morning? Oh my God, I want that. The arms of someone you trust and know. Someone telling you everything you did last night was great and wonderful. No, you didn't make a fool of yourself. I thought you were being funny. That's your Sunday. When you're alone, just you and the pillows. Maybe a stranger. So relationship people, your Saturday nights are less wild, but your Sundays are way more validated, way more comfy. So the person you're dating can't handle having one or the other. They're trying to have both. So they were saying, I still want to have my crazy Saturday night, but I also want to know that there's someone there on Sunday that's going to tell me how great and wonderful I am and that my future won't be alone. So you are being used when someone makes you get in a relationship. And mistakes can happen. I'm not saying they can't. But this tracks way too much from a person that needs to be in a relationship so that they don't feel alone. And they don't care who it is. It shows me it wasn't about you. To make that mistake so quickly, at the beginning of a relationship, you are the one-night stand. You've only been together a month and a half. You're not old man that they have to go back to that can't get it up. You haven't been together for even 2 months. And they're doing one-night stands. You are the excitement. You should be the excitement. If you're not, this isn't time for marriage counseling and figuring this out. To me, this is time for this person to go figure out their own thing. They're not ready to be an adult that's out of their relationship. They're still dealing with their relationship. You said they were in a long-term relationship. I've been single for 2 years now. And she just got out of a long-term relationship. So she just got out of a long-term relationship. She doesn't like being alone. She likes being with someone. So she locked you up and then went out and said, oh, maybe I'll find validation somewhere else. And then I have the validation tomorrow morning from the guy who's already agreed to be my boyfriend. So to me, I back away. I'm turned off by your behavior. I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to end this and let you kind of get your stuff together and figure out what you're looking for, what you want. Maybe down the line, I'm here for you, but right now it seems like you got your own things going on. So I don't think, to me, you were official. They showed you what this was. It ain't it. That's I hate to be so black and white with such a very nuanced issue.
No, I think that was a almost perfect answer. Because
right?
I wouldn't think of that at all. I wouldn't think.
What would you think of?
I thought that, this guy, as a woman, if they don't want to make a commitment, that means that they still want to date other people. So that's what we're thinking. Like, if they're dating other people, then I'm going to date other people. But
he said that she asked him to be in a relationship.
She got at no, but he said that
we both like each other a ton. The issue is she brought up being exclusive about a month in.
So by him saying, no, this is too early for us to be exclusive, it means I would think, oh, if you don't want to be exclusive, that means that you still want to hook up with other people.
No, but he said he wants to. The issue is she brought up being exclusive about a month in, which is usually too early for me.
to do because I really like, okay.
Right,
yeah,
so he's in. I think he's saying to us that it's usually too soon, but her, he goes, okay, let's try this out.
Sorry, I didn't.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So he just was like, let's go along. Let's figure this out. And I think, here's what I see a lot. I got drunk and downloaded Hinge. And the one thing from any woman who writes she wants casual, if they write it at all, they write, I want consistent and casual. I want someone who's consistent in a casual way. And it's like, consistent and casual are two opposite things. Casual is, I don't have to feel bad that I maybe canceled the day before we were supposed to get together. I can call you at a certain time of the night that maybe someone who wanted something more would be upset by. You can call me at a time of the night where you're out and having drinks and we don't know each other that well, but I offer some sort of companionship at a certain hour of night, that's casual to me.
Wait, how often are women writing this?
So I'm on Hinge, but I'm also on Field. And
I've heard of this.
Field has a lot. This has this a lot.
Okay.
And I feel a little weird on Field because I feel like I'm the nerd who showed up and ruined the party. Like I feel a little bit like dad's home, like because you read some profiles, the way women are out there on that app.
Okay.
Good for them.
What is
like,
Field for those?
So it's supposed to be like a kink-friendly app, but it's really people being really open about what they are looking for. So it could be a situation, it could be a type of hookup. I was like, personally, I was a little bit anxious about putting my pictures on there because for a woman, Field aims to be an inclusive and safe space for queer people, non-monogamous couples, and people with a wide variety of kinks. It covers virtually the whole spectrum of why someone would use a dating app. As a seasoned and at times jaded dating app user, I wanted to see what Field was all about. And I'm probably in the same boat as this person. I put my stuff up and you're like, hey, how great is it that we can be on here openly getting ahead of, hey, I want to be casual. Hey, I had some woman on there. She's like, what do you want from this app? And I was like, what I wrote back to her is really what I felt was I was like, I'm kind of looking for a sexy time getting drinks without the thought of this has to mean more than just us having sexy drinks.
Okay.
And
love that.
Yeah. And she wrote back, she was like, oh, that's like a nice, she said something nice. Oh, that's a nice answer. And that's what it kind of felt good for, but I haven't gone on a Field date yet.
Okay.
So I haven't seen what the difference is between a Hinge date versus a Field date.
Okay.
But I will say you see a lot on Field. I'm looking for consistent and casual. And I think that's La La Land. I think that's not real. I don't know, consistent and casual, it's like being ghosted versus it fizzled.
It sounds, so the one thing I've learned in all the relationships I've been in is that you get what you want when you first go into it. So it sounds like that person thinks that they want to be in a very committed relationship, but they're like, I'm trying to be casual and free. But the second you put out what you want, you'll find those people.
Right. Well,
so
that's kind of what Field is. You can see, you can search by desires.
Oh, really?
And people are open. And it's pretty refreshing.
Okay.
But I could understand if I was a woman on there, they're probably getting so much weird stuff. I haven't gotten weird stuff. You see some profiles that are just not for me.
What, can you example it?
They're so specific. It's you'll see profiles that are and listen, I'm more proud of them. I don't know if maybe a guy could be that open and honest. I wouldn't. It would be I felt weird putting my pictures on there. The idea that someone would be like, look at this, this weirdo. But I'm not even I just said I'm up for a good time. That's really all mine says. So
is it
it's interesting. It's
I'm into foot stuff, and then you can put that.
You can put that. You can put you're into. There's there's new terms I didn't even know.
Oh my God.
It'll be I'm into kink, I'm into open-minded. It's couples looking for thirds. You see that. You see the husband looking at you you're just looking at a profile, and I'm not searching for that, but sometimes it comes across your your feed.
Oh, wait, that's funny because I would find that sometimes on Hinge. When I was swiping, you would find a couple and you're like, no.
And then you do look at them longer. You're like, what's going on here? Just because you're just curious.
And
you're
that's your algorithm.
Yeah. You're wait a minute, I look too long. Let's do a movie review where we got a Glen Powell specific movie review with the baby. Very fun interview. Go check it out. It's officially vacation season. When I'm packing for a fun getaway, the thing that's not coming with me is body odor. Lumi's whole body deodorant keeps me smelling and smiling, but smelling great all day long, from my underarms to my feet. The stuff is proven to control odor for a whopping 72 hours. I could fly all the way to Singapore and still smell great for landing. I'm wearing it right now. That's a sniff test right on camera, live. I love Lumi. I use it. I love it. I think you guys will enjoy it as well. They make mini travel deodorants, which I bring on the road with me. They're perfect for on the go. Scents the toasted coconut I have been talking up for years. It smells like you'd eat it. And clean tangerine. I've never used that. The fresh alpine and minted cucumber. You're going to smell incredible all summer long. Lumi's got a great product, and I'm telling you right now, you can trust it with your odor decisions. Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers. So this gives you a little taste of everything and lets you see what the Lumi thing is all about. Comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like the mini body wash, which I have and use. It's great. Deodorant wipes and free shipping. As a special offer, JTrain listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with my exclusive code. If you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that's over 40% off the starter pack. So, people, that's free money. Use code FEATHER15. That's FEATHER15 for 15% off your first purchase at lumideodorant.com. That's code FEATHER15 at LUMEDEODORANT.com. It's hot enough outside without having an extra coat of body hair to deal with. Clean things up with Manscaped. They've got the ultimate summertime package to get you shaped up. It includes the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, the Weed Whacker 2.0 for ear and nose hair trimming, aftershave, ball deodorant, and a pair of comfy boxers. It's everything you need to look great all season long. They sent me their newest shaver, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. It's awesome. I use it. It's great. Great gift for your boyfriend. If you got that relationship with your dad, it's a great gift for him too. I just know it's going to get used, and Manscaped is for everyone, but me as a man, I like useful gifts. I like things that are going to fit in my life, and Manscaped's going to fit into the man in your life's life. Tough sentence there. Man in your life's life? Yeah, we'll use it. If you're really looking to level up, toss the crop mops into your shopping cart too. They're the moist towel. It's made specifically for your balls. Oh, what a great time of year for those. Keep you cool, clean, and even on the hottest days. So get 20% off and free shipping with code JTrain at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use code JTrain. Manscaped, the perfect way to get your patties sizzling hot this summer. I love that sign off. Welcome back to the JTrain Podcast. We have a very special guest, our resident movie critic, The Baby. B Movies with The Baby, always a pleasure. My friend Johnny is going to go through B movies. The premise was B movies but we've kind of drifted from the premise.
Well, we only did one before this. Now we're just doing Glen Powell movies.
Right. We're gonna do. We will now have only. This is now called the Glen Powell movie.
Yeah. Last time we did this was Anyone But You, and you and I talked about it afterwards. You hadn't seen it when I reviewed it.
That is the worst dog shit movie I have ever seen.
It, man. It was my.
You were kind.
I was kind, and the reason why it was making a lot of money. It was a lot of people going into the theater, and I just didn't want to be the one guy completely shitting on it. But there wasn't a laugh to be found in that movie. I
can't have the JTrain Podcast reviewer easily seduced by the public. You hadn't even made one appearance, and you're backing off.
I did it if you go back and listen to that, I wasn't kind.
You weren't kind, but you were fair. And here's my review.
An airplane movie.
I watched it on an airplane. That I am not one to say to like go down. I'm not offended often. The movie offended me. It had zero body inclusion. Not one fat friend who was funny. How do you have a rom-com with no like funny looking friend who's there for the jokes?
The most depressing part about it is whatever they did, it worked. It made a ton of money.
This is the problem. Well, I think it's all we got. We want a rom-com. We want an original tale that's not that original. Because the idea of like the couple who hates each other that ends up in love, we want that. That's what we want. Just do it funny. Add in the little accoutrements to that story that make us excited and rewind it and play it and want to sit in for a scene. It didn't even have that, and it did well.
I agree with you, and I think the biggest problem with it was there was charisma on only one side of that equation.
And that's where we come to Glen Powell. who is now America's number one, as you said.
Guy sells tickets, gets butts and seats. He's Tom Cruise. He's Brad Pitt. Yeah.
Now, what do you think the draw of Glen Powell is? Is it a throwback? Is it the same thing I just said? He is comfortable and someone we know, but also new.
So I'm going to make the argument here. And really, I'm on to talk about Twisters primarily, which I just saw over the weekend. Couldn't recommend it more. 4 binkies out of 4.
4 binkies.
Bring your friends. That's my number one. 4 out of 4. It's date night. It's go to the theater. Bring a crew. It's a ton of fun.
So you're suggesting to the listeners to watch Twisters in the theater, to go to a theater.
It's a must. I just think the special effects are great. The sound design's incredible. But this connects to this larger point about Glen Powell, which is like, what is his appeal? And I have this larger theory about the cultural relevance of guys like Glen Powell, and then also the cultural relevance of Twisters. I think I'm going to go so far as to say the year will end with Twisters as the most culturally relevant movie of the year.
Wow, you didn't want to make the same mistake twice. You're coming out. You went soft last time. You're going hard in the paint right now.
I'm all in. Chips in the middle.
The most culturally relevant movie of the year. What makes you say that?
So I think we live in a post-Trump.
Okay. All right. Okay.
We're dealing with an existential question of like, what is America?
What is this country?
Totally. And
they're gonna find out on B movies with the baby. Yeah.
Beyonce releases Cowboy Carter. Shabuzi has the number one song of the year. Post Malone's releasing a country album. The number one show is Yellowstone, and Twisters just went out and made $80 million. And it's all country music, and it's all in Oklahoma. And
interesting.
I think this is a place of comfort for us. I think we're, by trying to shut out these kind of like constant news cycle, we're retreating to the things that are so basically agreed upon about America. And Glen Powell is like the most American star you can have. We had a minute there where we had like 140-pound, skinny boys with great heads of hair. And I love Timothy Chalamet, but Glen Powell's like a man,
Right.
And he is a man in like a very classic 1950s Americana way.
Right. And I do agree with you. You mentioned all this country stuff, and, even like their songs are just simple. It's, I got my beer, I got my gal, and dad used to spank me. And that's every country song.
But everything I just mentioned is also at the same time multicultural. So it's like, it's bringing in a wide net on the premise of what are some of the most basic American tropes. The West, country music, cowboys. And in this case, like this idea, like the whole movie is completely apolitical, which is weirdly shocking. I came away from it almost like needing to wrestle with that a little bit. There was no meta commentary. There was like no meta commentary. Usually there's like some meta commentary. I mean, we're talking about a movie about tornadoes and climate change isn't.
That's crazy. Right. No one says like these category 5s are happening more frequently. No one
say it happens more frequently, but the term climate change is intentionally not mentioned. Like you really have to write a script to like avoid that,
You really do. They have not one nerd. They didn't have one nerd character who's like, we've done this to ourselves, that you kind of hate, even though like that. Isn't that the most hateable person in a movie? Like,
even the villain in the movie does.
Isn't the Twister the villain?
Well, it's like a monster movie, right? The Twister is the villain. But there's this other sub-villain, this human villain, who is, he is like modeled off of a coastal elite, but looks and talks like he's from West Texas.
Okay,
so they're like really kind of playing with our kind of preconceived notions of where people land in the pecking order of the country. And in the process, they've made something totally apolitical. And also, I think something that like everybody can enjoy. And it feels like such a throwback to the 90s because it's big spectacle. And then they build a story around it that is not meta. It's not self-referential. It's not like overly winking at the camera. It felt like a total throwback. You know exactly every beat of the movie before you walk in there.
Well, I did see them. I did see them promoting the movie at like a country music festival, and like the woman, the female lead of the movie, who you had told me she's great. She kills it. Does she outdo Powell, our guy Powell, in this movie?
The movie actually circles around her more than it does Powell. Powell isn't introduced until about 20 minutes into the movie, and so
at that point you stood up.
Foil.
You stood up and started applauding, of course, in the theater.
Oh, applause! Slow.
There he is. There's our boy.
Yeah, like the Ultraman came along and finally saved us. But I just have to say, I think the movie's great. I think it's a blast. You know exactly what's going to happen in it. The beats are very similar to the original Twisters, and yet you feel the stakes because it's really well made. There's not a lot of tricks here. There's not a lot of twists or anything like that. It's just straight ahead entertainment. It is such a throwback to like the Jurassic Park era of our childhood. It's also nostalgic in that way, you know?
Right. Well, this is a big question, and it might be spoiler alert. Do we see a cow in the sky? That is crazy. How do you not have?
The whole thing is like, you do have a question mark throughout the whole. There's probably five real storms in this movie. You almost can't believe how many storms there are. One of the things I like about the movie is it doesn't even try to like make you buy it. It's just like, we're just going to throw a bunch of storms in here.
Right.
And at the same time, everywhere these people try to go to magically doesn't have a basement. So
they've done no preparation for the next storm. They are in Storm Alley. And not one person is like, maybe we should rebuild how we do our homes here.
They actually kind of lean into it so much. I almost respect it. It's like absurdism. Like, it's like, check your head. Don't worry about it. But you do spend most of the movie being like, what's the crazy thing we're going to see fly through the storm?
Yes.
And I can't remember anything specific, but there's just a lot. Like they make up for the lack of cow by just throwing everything else into the storm.
Okay, so Twisters gets 4 binkies out of the baby. Okay, so let's move on with Glen Powell Day. What other Glen Powell movies should we be watching?
Well, I'll just say I celebrate Glen Powell Day every day.
Yes.
And today I'm going to also suggest as a date movie, Hitman on Netflix. Have you seen it?
No, explain the movie Hitman to us.
So Glen Powell plays an FBI informant who pretends to be a hitman. And the premise of this movie is that hitmen do not exist. And so he pretends to be a hitman in order to coax would-be customers into committing crimes, and then the FBI swoops in and arrests them. So
the idea being, the minute I'm given the money to kill someone, you have committed a crime. Gotcha.
Nailed it. Now, here's where the twist comes in. He meets someone that he falls in love with, who then tries to hire him as a hitman.
So now he had to give up the love of his life to jail. Or
I don't know, Jared. I don't know. You'll have to
watch. Who's the woman in the movie? Who's or man?
I'm embarrassed to forget her name because she's amazing in it. And for all the chemistry that's lacking in Anyone But You, it is times 11 in Hitman.
Now, are we to believe, we've now named 3 movies where the female lead is really, in certain ways, you've kind of mentioned they've had really good performances across from Glen Powell. Glen has to be a part of that. Are we to say that Glen Powell is our greatest feminist hero?
I think you can say that. I think that's a hard yes.
Well, how is he so sought after by all these female leads and does so well with them? What is the?
I think that he has this mix of smarm and charm that really
smarm and
works.
Charm. Great hat.
Yeah, which really works as a foil to a more earnest and straight ahead female lead.
Okay. Now what's the third movie that our third on the Glen Powell Blue Paint
You had
special.
suggested to me, you were like, all right, let's talk Twisters, let's talk date night movie, and then a movie to watch on your own. And in the Glen Powell pantheon, a movie to watch on your own that's currently streaming on Netflix is Everybody Wants Some. Have you seen this movie?
No, what is it about? And I asked for a movie to watch it by yourself. Like, would you be embarrassed to watch with other people? Is it not worth watching with another person? Is it a movie that you'd want to watch with your phone out?
Yeah, I think kind of the last one, and I would say you would have a great time watching this with other people potentially, but there's no plot. Nothing happens. It's a straight up hangout movie. It's the spiritual sequel to Dazed and Confused, made by the same director.
I remember when this came out. I didn't realize it was him.
Yeah, he's one of the big stars. It was actually his breakout movie, and it stars a collection of guys who are on a baseball team in college and somewhere in Texas. And it is, if you want to feel nostalgic, if you've recently graduated from college, or if you graduated from college 30 years ago, it doesn't matter. If you want to feel nostalgic for those days, this movie gets all the beats right. It makes you feel like you're hanging out with these people. And it's like good-natured, easy. There's no plot. It is just a full-on hangout. So if you liked Dazed and Confused, or you like hangout movies, this is a really good one.
How tall is Glen Powell?
That's a great question. I think I looked it up, and I think it's 6'8". No, he's 6.
What? He's not. If he's not a mountain, he ain't a foot. Yeah.
I think whatever. He's probably 5'10", but the official listing might have him at 6'1" or something.
I need him to have some thickness at this point.
Do you know what I think, actually, and this is clear in anyone but you, is I think he's kind of oddly proportioned. Did you notice that?
Yeah, it is a little odd. It feels like his head is too big for the body beneath it, and his lips don't match all the other things on his face.
It's like his arms are too short, his head's too big. So, we're probably better looking than him, I think.
Right. In person, both you and I would be looked at before him, I'm sure.
Underrated famous person thing is head size.
It really is.
This person I've ever encountered or seen has the largest head I've ever seen.
A cow head, to bring us back to Twister.
And Glen Powell's no different. And I think the thing is it's because they can have more expressionistic faces.
Right. It's like seeing it on a balloon. Well, thank you, baby, for coming on and
Thank you.
Bringing the movies. Glen Powell Day here on the JTrain Podcast. One day we'll get him on. He's done podcasts. He told one of the craziest podcast stories I've ever seen, and he was saying that his sister went on a date with someone, and the guy brought her home, and he was acting weird, and he was rubbing her with lotion, and then she's like, "I'm gonna leave." This was
debunked.
I'm so happy we have our Glen Powell expert here.
He said it happened to a friend of a friend, and it turns out it was one of these urban legends.
Oh, we're celebrating a liar? Yeah, so supposedly his sister was going to get eaten by this guy.
It was a dark moment in the Glen Powell history.
Yeah, the Gleniverse. We got to move on. So,
well, thank you for having me on. Go see Twisters. It's an absolute blast.
I will come back with my review. I will let people know if it's body inclusive or not. Thank you, baby. We'll be back on JTrain just a moment. When you've got a wedding, a reunion, or any event you really want to stand out, you need Indochino. They're amazing. They make made-to-measure men's and women's wear that looks awesome and fit like a glove. Okay, I'm going to go off script right away. Fit like a glove is all I need to talk about, because with Indochino, you're going to give them your measurements, and here's the reality. You are not off the rack. You're a special snowflake. You got all your curves, and you know what fits you well, and you know what doesn't, and you know kind of the looks you want, but you want that look to fit you, and that's where Indochino comes in. A suit that's made specifically to your measurements is worth more money, and they're selling it for a price that's not crazy. And they're taking out the middlemen. They're taking out all that stuff, the store and all that. They're going straight to you. That's why they can give you savings like this. Your Indochino suit will be made just for you. You can customize every detail. And that's the other thing. You feel good when your initials are on it. It's got the pockets you like, the lapels you're into. While you're at it, pick up some new Indochino outerwear. Maybe some casual shirts for more chill days. So they got it all. They've got all your needs. But I would say when you put on a suit that fits and fits well, you are a better participant at the event. I know I am. This happened yesterday. Yesterday I put on jeans that didn't fit. It ruined the whole day. You know why? They weren't measured specifically for me. Customize your summer style with Indochino. Go to Indochino.com. Use code JTrain to get 10% off any purchase of $3.99 or more. That's 10%. You're going to spend $3.99 or more, so get the 10% off. That's 10% off at INDOCHINO.com, code JTrain. Scorching your hair and scalp in the sun all summer long is not the best care. Luckily, Nutrafol's got you covered. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement with over 1 million people seeing thicker, stronger, faster-growing hair with less shedding. One of those people is my mom. She loves it. She keeps adding it to her routine. Every time she runs out, she calls me, I need the Nutrafol, It's no prescription or doctor visit required. Get started as easy as add to cart. Wow. Physician formulated with drug-free ingredients, Nutrafol supports healthy hair growth from within by targeting the root cause of hair thinning. Stress, hormones, environment, nutrition, lifestyle, metabolism. Nutrafol has multiple formulas for you to choose from, so you can pick what suits your body and lifestyle best. I am a huge fan of Nutrafol. I'm a huge fan of self-improvement. If it's on your mind, you're thinning hair, this is a great way to go after it. Get results you can run your fingers through. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering JTrain listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com, enter the promo code FEATHER. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code FEATHER. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code FEATHER. Okay, we're back. We got more advice questions. Keep sending them in, JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Help my virgin friend, Jared. Put him on field. I mean,
Read this. This is good.
my best friend since birth is a 35-year-old virgin. She has only kissed one boy once ever. We have lived very different lives, but have always remained close. She's extremely Christian, and I am not. I am married, and she is still very single. She complains often that she wishes she could find a husband to do life with. She still lives with her parents and basically never leaves her house except to go to work. I have paid for yearly subscriptions for her on Upward. Can we look up what Upward is? Christian Mingle, but she doesn't use the app so much. She doesn't use the apps much, so it ended up being a waste of money. She also turns me down whenever I try to get her out of the house to meet people in real life. So what do I do? Any advice to get my friend out of her shell, or do I just walk away and let her live at home with her parents till she's 60? Thanks. What is Upward? Easy answer. You have to leave this person alone. They don't want the help. Upward, Christian dating. Upward is the app for Christian singles, a fun, fresh, free, and simple-to-use app where believers and people of faith meet. Our mission is simple: to create a faith-based community for single Christian men and women to connect and meet based on shared beliefs, shared values, and similar interests and likes. Here's the thing. Your friend doesn't want the help. There's something else going on. They're complaining about not... you can't complain about the rain and then refuse to take an umbrella. So you're off. This person seems to be okay being wet, which you're going to have to be okay with. And here's the thing. You have to go from trying to help to letting this person know you have already tried to help. And that seems to be where you're at, because you say she complains often that she wishes she could find a husband to do life with. And it's like, hey, now you're at the point, you're writing into me. So you're there where you have to look at this person and go, anytime they complain, you have to look at them and go, I have tried to help you. If you're going to refuse my help, I can't listen to the complaints because I feel bad. And I don't want to pity my friend. I don't want to feel bad for my friend, but you're not even taking the things that I've tried to help you with. I signed you up for the app. You didn't want to use it. I've invited you in real life things. I've invited you out to meet people. You refuse that. You're living at home. Now, if you're living at home, what's the purpose of living at home? That would be my next question. Is the purpose of living at home to save money for this other dream you have? That's a great reason. Is the purpose of living at home because it's easy? Well, when you go for easy, you're going to get easy. So you're going to get no boyfriend. You're going to get nobody that you meet because you're going to be living at home because you didn't take a chance. So that's the tough talk I would have with them. I think you're done. You've helped them. You tried. But I wouldn't be there after I tried fielding the complaints. I hear you, but I don't want to feel bad for my friend. And if you're not going to help yourself, I can't help you. Yeah. You got to walk away from this. And help my virgin friend. The only thing you can do is walk away. The virginity isn't the issue.
Oh, yeah, no. It sounds like to me that they have been best friends since birth. And sometimes when you grow up with someone, you kind of want to like be in, like experiencing the same things and share those experiences. Like, this has made me so happy and fulfilled. And I want you to have these experiences as well.
Well, you know what it is? It's not even that.
Okay.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think it's that we have nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
Like,
that's true.
If I'm the married person writing into me and I'm trying to get this person to go out with me to meet people in real life, but really just go out so that we have something to talk about, now you have nothing to talk about. Yeah. This person's living at home as if they're 17 years old. You got married, you have friends, you have work people, you have like a dynamic life. And then I'm sure you get together with this person and you're left to talk about people from high school you see on Facebook. So you're literally talking about Facebook. Mm-hmm. That's all they have. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure if I'm this person, I'm like, I like this friend, but they're becoming a drag to hang out with.
Yeah.
And it's not even that they're a virgin. The virgin thing plays into, like, to me, this person needs like professional help. And it's not because they haven't had sex. I can understand how that can happen when you're 35 years old. I can't understand. But I can also understand how being a 35-year-old virgin can weigh on you, make you not want to leave the house, make you not want to date, make you self-conscious. So this person's dealing with a way heavier thing. We talk about virginity like, ooh, look at the virgin 35. No, that's a heavy fucking subject. Like, this person, the self-doubt that they have, I can't imagine. So maybe that's another thing. Help your virgin friend. I would say, 1, you can't complain to me about your dating life anymore. I've tried to help. 2, do you need to talk to someone?
Yeah.
You know, I've known you for years, but we're running out of things to talk about. I can't sit with you and talk about, you know, high school prom until we're 80. I need new stuff.
Yeah.
We need new episodes of this show. This show is in reruns.
I think that's like,
That's the problem with like these old friends. Are you old friends that are living in reruns? Or are you old friends that create new episodes?
Oh.
And I got rerun friends too. I hang out with the rerun friends a lot less than the ones I'm creating new episodes with. It's really like, you got to start sussing that out at a certain point, because it's like, there's times where I'll be at a party with a rerun friend. That's okay. We could talk about old times. But I don't want to spend a Saturday out drinking with them. I want to go have new adventures, do new stuff. And I think also, you know, especially if like you haven't had kids yet, you're 35, you're married, like there's a reason we do these next steps of life. Mm-hmm. It's to see what the next season looks like. Mm-hmm. You know, I feel that in my own life. What am I doing?
Yeah.
You know, like I downloaded the dating app. I'm on Hinge, having the same conversations there I had a year ago when I was on Hinge. And I deleted it for a year.
Yeah.
I was like out of it and sat in Boca, got drunk, looked at the bartender, and it's fun. It's fun. It is fun at first. You get a lot of matches at first, and then you go, and then it goes away. And you go, I should have gone out with some of those first people I started talking to.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that part.
I went on a date and the problem I'm having a year later is like, I didn't think like, I guess I haven't been on it since. It's not that I do feel a lot of people recognizing me on the app and they'll start right away. Jared, I was just telling you off camera. Someone was like, "You gonna review my dating profile?" And I was like, maybe this isn't the right place for me. Because you're like, I was like, I have to yes and that.
Totally.
You know, I can't be miserable like I don't know what you're talking about. Like I know what they're talking about. You know?
Yeah.
But I've always I keep coming back to like I didn't think it was a great place for me to meet someone, and now I'm on it. I had the excitement. It was fun to get matches, and then I'm like, maybe this isn't the right place for me to meet someone. And again, you know, I guess to relate this to the virgin friend, like, are they having that level of awareness, and what's their talk with the mirror? I'm having my talk with the mirror. I'm lucky enough to have a podcast. Like, you know, I have someone that wants to listen to this. Maybe no one wants to listen. Maybe people have turned this off. But I don't think you're getting what they say to the mirror.
Yeah, I totally see what you're saying now. The reruns and the new episodes.
Oh, this emailer hates her friend.
Oh, no, I think.
No, they're annoyed by them. Like, they're like, well, maybe if they found a guy that they'd be more fun. You know, but you're years away from a guy at this point.
That's what I'm saying, that they didn't really grow with them. It's
right.
Like we're not on the same level of life. I think that's something that they need to look for, and you're not to fix their problems.
No.
This doesn't seem like a problem. Also, being a virgin is not a problem.
No, that's like it goes into the outline of who this person is, the resume, but it's not. Yeah. It's really just a piece. Okay, we're going to Patreon. If you want to be a subscriber, patreon.com/Jared Freid. $5 a month gets you the end of every episode. We're going to do more luxury lounges. We got some great emails here.
We got a lot of wedding complaints.
There's a lot of feedback to the wedding episode.
Yeah, this one I really
Lots of feedback. Okay, we're heading to Patreon.